Do you ever have issues with your backup batteries at communication sites where you expect 4 or maybe even 8 hours of battery backup, but only get 30, 60, or 120 minutes? Have you ever had to race to a site in an attempt to get there before the batteries completely deplete or go offline and the entire site shuts down? This can happen when you have compromised batteries and you don't realize that there's an issue until you actually need to use them in real time. ICT's Battery Discharge Test feature can help you avoid this very situation and increase your network performance. The purpose of this video will be to illustrate the Battery Discharge Test feature available in many of ICT's product families, such as the Modular Power Series, the MPS Ultra, the Hybrid Power Series, the Hybrid Ultra, or the Platinum Series DC Power System. The purpose of the battery discharge test is to determine whether a battery bank is functioning correctly and is able to provide sufficient backup power as is expected. A bad battery will deplete itself more rapidly, and users who may be expecting 8 hours of backup from the battery itself may only receive a fraction of that, for example. And this testing occurs without impacting the operation of the power system and connected load devices, so there is no impact to network operation during the actual test. The test can be set up using ICT's Graphical User Interface, or GUI, which is used to monitor and control ICT's DC power systems. Within the GUI itself, to commence the battery discharge testing, head over to the menu and slide down to Battery Backup. From here is your main status page, and to run the testing itself, head over to the Settings and Control tab and scroll down. You'll find here the set discharge time, and that's used to determine the period of time for the testing. For larger battery banks, this duration is typically longer to fully exercise the batteries. For smaller battery banks, this duration is typically shorter, as the backup time for the batteries is also shorter. The discharge voltage limit is the battery voltage where the test will be aborted. This test will run either for the duration set by the user or until the voltage reaches the discharge voltage limit, whichever occurs first. The discharge test interval is how often you wish to run this test, be it weekly, monthly, quarterly, and so on, and this can be set by changing the number of days in between testing. You can also choose to run it on a specific day, at a specific time, perhaps during down or quieter periods. The ICT power system will measure the current being drawn from the battery, as well as monitor the decreasing battery voltage. If the battery voltage decreases too quickly versus what its correct discharge curve should be, the test will result in a fail, and the user will be notified of this here in the GUI. If the battery voltage decreases as expected, the test result will obviously be a pass, and the user will be notified of this fact as well. A fail result gives the user the opportunity then to visit the site and replace the faulty batteries proactively.